Got the head back from the machine shop. We got Ferrea Comp Plus intake valves. We got SuperTech Inconel exhaust valves. I just took one exhaust valve out. I mic'd it, put it in here to hold it. I ended up buying a Starrett split ball bore gauge, right, to check guide clearance. I put it in here. Let's see if I can do this all one-handed. This is tough to do one-handed, but got it zeroed out basically, right? Shit, hold on. Like I said, this is tough to do one-handed, right? So it's like zeroed out. So now we got one here. I'll put it in the guide. Check my clearance, and we got like one thou, 1/10. I did a couple other ones. This was 1 thou 2, and this was 1 thou 2. That was 1/10. So just a touch over a thou here on this. Now let me try intake. Okay, pulled 2 intake out just to check ones. Did the intake, zeroed it out again. Just gonna check. He reused my intake guides just so everyone's aware. And my intake is like, hold on, let's do like 2 thou. How about this one? I'm guessing it's gonna be the same. That one's a, yeah, that's like 2 thou also. I'm gonna try it this direction. That's a touch under 2 thou. And for some reason, yeah, that's showing tighter in that direction. Let me look at it this way. I can't even see here. Let's do this. Yeah, that's showing 1.5 when I go like that. Right? 1.6. 1.6. I want to go this direction. Shows like 2. So yeah, I don't know. Intake's definitely looser, but like I said, he reused these. But the exhaust is a touch over a thou, and that's all fresh. So that's my guide clearance. So here I got the 2JZ Extreme kit. I got my spring tester, and GSC on their website lists 0.795 inches as coil bind. So I have it set here, but you guys can see there's like a little bit of gap still. But I was testing it, and here, let me get this. So I got a 5 thou feeler gauge, and I can still put this in between the coils, even on the bottom, right? The top is kind of just starting to get tight. But I can still do the bottom, 5 thou and everything. So that's what they list, but it's still not complete coil bind, but it's pretty damn close. I noticed that this, actually I can do the top here, I just can't do it here. But this side, I wasn't able to get anything for a while. So I can still get 5 thou here, everywhere. 5 thou, 5 thou, and 5 thou here. Well, actually I gotta go over here more. I got it there. So now I brought it to 780, and still can get everything. Still got a little bit. So you can see this. The spring's got a little bit more room than what they say. Putting the gauges in there. So anyway, so now you kind of like work backwards for spring height. So hold on one sec. So you put this down. It's gonna go up, get it down. There's nice and flush. And it's like 1.55. If I push with my other hand, I only have one hand, but when I push the valve up, because this is actually pushed down, it goes to like 61. So it's 1.461 inches is the stem height. And I can go through and I'll do all of them and post up what I got for results. Alright, so we need to get the height from the spring, so the bottom of the retainer where the spring sits, right, to the tip of the valve. So I drilled a hole in this piece of metal that fits right, and then I put the keepers on, and I took my hands and just pulled it on tight and spun it, and I'm going to lay it here, and now I'm going to get the height. So I got my tool on here and zeroed, and the bore that I have is bigger than the retainer, so it's going to make it to, so there we have 165. And this is an intake valve, so it's 165. I have an exhaust valve in there now, same thing. I pulled on there so it's really locked in there. Get this stop wobbling, it's laying there. Tool should be at 0. It's at 0. Let's put it on there. And it's 155. So the exhaust is 155, the intake is 165. 155 and 165. Alright, let's check this out. So, I have the stem height in the head, which I checked with this tool, right? And the exhausts were all roughly like 1.460, we'll call it, we'll round it to the closest thing. Then the spring seat, right here. The thickness of this metal, this is the stock spring seat. The thickness is 20 thou. Then you saw me measuring that metal or whatever from the retainer bottom to the tip on the exhaust was 155 thou. So you take that number minus the 20 minus the 155 and you get 1.285 inches, which I have the spring sitting here at one. You can see 1.285, and we are getting 157.5 pounds. So it's called 158. Right, so you have 150. Oh, my pen's not working. There we go. 158 pounds. Right, so now you take that and you minus the cam lift, which I have the Kelford thing here. The exhaust is 10.8 millimeter. So exhaust cam lift 10.8 millimeters comes out to 425 thou. So that's 860. So let me compress this to 860. Alright, here we go. I got it at 860. And we got 302 pounds. So I'm going to have 302 pounds open, or they call it over the nose. And then in the future, if I want to run a bigger cam, I tried to have everything spec'd so I can still run 11.5 millimeter, which is 453, which brings it to 832 open. So let me test that. So here we are, 832, and we got 112. So it'd be 312, or I'm sorry, not 112, 312. 312 pounds over the nose on an 11.5 millimeter cam. I don't want to run any bigger than that. That'd be the absolute biggest. And then you can see here, it's still not at coil bind. You can see all those, the gap or whatever between them. So that looks good. Let's do the intake. Alright, so now on to the intake. My stem height was, well, it's anywhere between 1.490 and 1.5. So I was like, I'll just do the smaller one to check coil bind. Then the seat, because it's a taller stem height, I was going to use the thicker seat, which GSC provides, which this is 60 thou thick. See that? So that seat is 60 thou thick, and then the tip to retainer, you know, again, that's this measurement. That was 165. So you take that, minus and you get 1.265, which I have this set up at 1.265. And oh, it turned off. Hold on. And we're at 153.5. So whatever. It's called like 153. on this spring. And then we got to minus the lift for the intake, which is 450, or yeah, 445. So let me do that. All right, so we're looking for 820 open. We got 820 now. It's showing 317. So 317 pounds open. And then that's 11.3 lift. If I ever want to get to an 11.5 lift cam, which is I'm clearance and everything for, that's 812. So here I got set 812, and it's 320. So 320 pounds over the nose. And again, we want to look at, do we have gap for coil bind? And it looks good. Let me put some feeler gauges in there and check it. Alright, so I got a, probably can't read it, but this is a 20 thou. It's a 20 thou feeler gauge. Right? I got a 20 thou feeler gauge here. And slide in between the coils. No problem. See that? 20 thou. So I still got a lot of room between the coils at this 812. So yeah, I think I'm good to run this.